Good morning, everybody. I hope you had an amazing weekend to start off Magical Monday. Oops. To mute this. Okay. All right. So, this is week 2 of our undersea people. Undersea animals, that's the word. Undersea animals, sea creatures, whatever. So I'm going to start off this week with a seahorse. And as you can see on my paper, I also did a shark. So tomorrow we're going to do a shark. Actually, I have the other 3 that we'll be doing. Good morning, Cindy. Because we're going to do, well, I don't know if I have 3. I kind of have a thought. I have somewhat of a plan this week. Woohoo, good for me, right? Squid, shark, seahorse, dolphin, and then there was one more. But anyway, I'm going to round them all up and get them on things today. So I'm going to email them to anybody that wants it. So you can private message me your email address or just put in the comments that you want it. And I might already have your email address. Anyway, I'm going to make it easy for you this week. We're going to have little tracers, little patterns. We're not going to make them as detailed as this because this is pretty detailed. I'm all about simplicity. So anyway, we're going to have fun with this. I'm going to use my just regular watercolor paper. I'm going to have my cup of tea, a pencil, and just my pink eraser, and then of course my standard 99-cent watercolors, which I truly need to get this done, a new one, because this one right here, my blue, is like almost gone. I'm really sad. But anyway, so let me flip the camera. Yes, Cindy, I'll send it to you here shortly. So anyway, so let's get started. I'm gonna flip the camera and we will do our seahorse this morning, because he's adorable. Okay. Now, so this is our seahorse. Let me make sure. I like to wait for my view to come along so that I know that we can all see the same thing. All right, so this is my seahorse, and I'm gonna go ahead and just cut him out. Because remember, not everybody is like me and has carbon paper. Actually, I'm telling myself that, so I remember. Okay. And so what we're going to do is you're going to take your pencil. Mine's just a graphite pencil, but you can use any that you have to sharpen, like a number 2 pencil. Like this. This is another one I use a lot. Can you tell? It's well used. It's well loved. And it's just those black number 2 Ticonderoga pencils. Those are good too. No worries. So you're going to flip it over. And you're going to create this lead on the back. You're just going to scribble, scribble, scribble. And all it's doing is it's making, there's something in my thing. It's making carbon paper. Ta-da! All right. Then I'll use a mechanical pencil to trace it. Okay, remember, this is really, really, really detailed, so I have no desires to make him that detailed, not for, you know, a 30-minute video. But I made, you can if you'd like, because you have more than 30, 40 minutes, because I like to keep these at 30 or 40 minutes. So anyway, I did this a little narrower, because he's narrower, yeah. Some people just can't say certain words, and that one's really hard for me. But I wanted to put him down here, and then so I can do bubbles coming up here, because I like bubbles. So we're going to move him up just a itty bit. All right, so now I'm just going to trace him. I like the mechanical pencil or an ink pen because they have more of a fine point. And if you don't like my seahorse, I went online and it's amazing how many different kinds of seahorses there are. I actually had no clue. I mean, there's some that are kind of, I don't know, scary looking. They kind of look like little, I don't know, trees, I guess, maybe. They have all kinds of little like horns sticking out of them and all kinds of stuff. They're just weird. I did, though, come across a video of one of them having babies. And it literally looked like every time it would sneeze, it would like squirt out like 1,000 little seahorses. Okay, now when I come in here, I'm going to kind of pick and choose what do I want to showcase. Like, it's very scaly. I did notice most of them are all pretty scaly, but I don't want to do all these scales because that's just like tedious, monotonous, and for those of you that know me, I get bored pretty quick. So I'm only going to pick and choose a handful because in my opinion, you only need a handful of things, a handful of details to get your point across, because your mind is constantly searching for what it already knows. Oh, plenty. So as long as you give, like, even if I just did the outline of this and an eye, I mean, I wouldn't even have to do an eye. We could just do the outline. Your mind would search for what does it already know that looks like that, that resembles that. And then it would be like, oh, it's a seahorse. That's what it is. So that's why I don't, the only time I do extreme details is when I'm like painting realistically, which lately has been hardly ever, but I do it often. I mean, not often, but I do paint realistically. Okay, now, oh, my handy dandy, oh, Sharpie. Okay, so then I'm gonna take my Sharpie, the one that has a fine and an ultra fine, okay? And I'm gonna use the ultra fine. I'm going to go ahead and trace him. The cool thing about using a pattern is that you don't have to be super talented and, you know, that type of thing. And there's nothing wrong with using a pattern. You know, until you practice and get the skills of drawing, use a pattern, because it's just kind of giving you the shapes and stuff. It's not like you're doing a complete realistic drawing from the pattern, okay? You're just helping you so that you can still create, you can still have a good time, you can still be, well, creative. I know I already said create, but things like that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, truly, I don't believe. It's not like you're copying somebody completely and it's completely done. I'm looking for my eraser. And then you're trying to sell it, okay? You're just trying to help yourself to have a stress-free morning, and there's still a lot to do. I mean, even, you know, because we're going to take this and you're going to paint it and you're going to make it look like undersea, and you're going to have bubbles and okay. Oops, I don't know what that was. Let's do it this way. Ta-da! Now they're all gone. Sorry. I have a frog in my throat. Just kidding. Okie doke. Now that we have him drawn on, we're going to go ahead and throw the water in, and I have water somewhere. And I like to, when I'm doing big backgrounds, use my really big number 8 paintbrush. And I start with water first, because this is watercolors. And I really want my paint to flow, okay? That's part of the reason that I do it. Oops, you can't see. Can't see my blue. I have 2 different shades of blue. Maybe today, maybe. I have so many things to get done today. I'll remember to go get one of those Crayola, because that's what I'm going to get next, is a Crayola watercolor from like the Dollar General store or Family Dollar, or who knows. I don't think I'm going to Meijer today, but anyway, my next one truly is I'm going to go get the kids Crayola one. So I like working with these cheaper ones. They're fun. I want to add a little green. Can you see a little in here? Do you see how when you have a really wet background, it just starts to blend all by itself? And remember, if you have a napkin, you can touch your paintbrush to get all the extra out and get some of this water off your page. Okay. And I'm not, it doesn't matter, like you can watch, I am not by any means trying to be super careful, super detailed. Oops, wrong green. I'm just kind of throwing some stuff in. I'm going to actually make my seahorse a shade of green, but I want him to have some green in the water. All right, I'm going to take one of my napkins and I'm going to dry off some spaces. Not necessarily all of them. I'm going to leave some of the spots just where I have like puddles. But if you, I hope you could see, there's like patterns in my napkins, and it helps to put patterns in my water. All right, I think I like it. So for now, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah, of course not. All right, I'm gonna use a little less water because where I'm gonna put my bubbles, I want it to be just a little bit darker. But it's still pretty wet. I didn't like dry it till it's not like I took a hairdryer to it or anything. So there's still water there. And I'm just moving this around and I'm kind of just pulling this down. Oops, see this right here? This is my eraser. And then I'll put a little bit of my green back in. Looks like I'm gonna just do the whole thing over again. Oh well. You know, sometimes that's what happens in art. You get going and then you're like, oh, I should add a little here and add a little there. Okay, but I don't want to get too close to him with the green because I'm gonna make him green. Too much water. All right, that's good. And then I'll do the same thing one more time and just kind of dry off a little of it. This time I really am only going to dry a little. Okay, that's good. Good enough. Okie doke. Now, I think since he's pretty small, I'm going to use my number 2 round. Okay. And I'm going to do my light green. It's stuck on the paper. And my dark green. Okay, but I'm going to start with my light green because I want him to be like a greenish color. I don't think I've really done any of my sea animals too green lately. I'm going to avoid his eye. This is my base coat. Okay, so I'm going to make the whole thing green because it's just easier. That's all I'm doing, just going in, making him green. Okay. I'm going to dry my brush and go back in here with my brush again to pick up all the extra water. So as I get water in here, I'm just going to dry off my brush again. Anywhere that I can see. Okay? All right. So we've got a good base on him. I just noticed this right here. Sorry, guys. It's just where there's like lines. I don't like it. Anyway, it'll catch my eye. Me and the squirrels, we will like go off in different directions. So that's not good. All right, now I want to add in, I'm going to use this dark green because I'm going to add in my shadows. So wherever he is, the light source, because he's, you know, up and down. So the light up top would be where the light's coming in. Now he might be deep in it. You can't really tell anyway, but I always like to do that. So he's going to be a little darker underneath. Remember, we have to trust our process. It'd be darker here. Remember, I'm not too concerned about the lines at this point. And his little, I don't know, like fin, I guess, we can make darker. I'm also going to add some blue, so no worries. And not the top part of this, because you just imagine if you stuck a flashlight here and it went downward. So this would be lit, this would be lit, this would have light on it, and the tops of this would be light. You know, so just slow. Think of how things are. No big deal. Okay, I'm also going to add some blue, and my blue is still pretty liquidy. It's not all dried out yet. Okay, so here I want to add in, and this time I'm just going to add in some lines. Okay, and maybe this little fin thingy is kind of bluish. Okay, then I can take some of this blue and mix it with this green. Now maybe a little more if it's not showing up very blue. Okay, I'm going to add some of that in here. Okay, then I'll wash my brush. And then it'll be wet still. So along this line, I'm gonna come in here and soften this, kind of pull things in different directions, because that's like the beauty of watercolors, is that when water hits it, you can blend it. Okay, so I'm just adding water, moving this around. You know, I do so appreciate those of you that are sending me your pictures. I love to see what you're creating and how talented all of you are. But just to know that, you know, you enjoy our little time together. It's nice. I like it. And those of you that are sharing the videos and stuff. Okay, this is yellow, and I'm going to plop in some colors where it's highlighted. Okay, and remember how I told you he's kind of scaly? I'm going to do like little lines here to help our mind to start to see. It's just too much water. Sorry, I'm drying it off. Okay, so this is my highlights up in here. You know, underneath his eye, he would probably have some shadows. Okay, now let's try this again. I'm doing the yellow. I know they're not like super bright, but what I'm gonna do is take some of that lighter green and a lot thicker, and I'm gonna stick underneath, because I just went through and did yellows, so now I'm gonna go underneath and do some of these little lines that are the green, so you can start to see the scale coming down. Okay, I really want some blue I think blue would make him like pop out. Okay, so I think this, I think I'm gonna go in here with some blue. Right on top of where I just did the green. You know, you can just have fun with it. I mean, go online and look at seahorses. There's so many varieties. I mean, you might think, oh, I'm gonna make up my own variety, but I kind of wonder if the variety's already been created. Okay, so I want some little blue dots. So all I'm gonna do is just take some blue, stick some dots on here. Because remember, this is yours. I know that we're kind of making this one kind of cute, but quite honestly, when I look at the pictures online, they're kind of scary. Just so you know. Oops. As I fling stuff. All right. I'm gonna make some green dots now, which I know look a lot like the blue dots, but it's okay. I love how just adding in dots helps so much. Because we're just having fun. This is just a magical Monday. Does not have to look like you took a photograph of anything. Okay, then up here I want a little more of something. It's just too dull, so I think what I'm going to do is just add some water and try and get some of the color off to let some of the white paper show through. Okay, maybe, because I don't think the white will show up. Oh, but you know what? It will with the paint. Okay. Then, whatever little bit of yellow I have on my brush, I'm going to make his eye turn yellow. Barely. There. Okay. Now, let's see. Let's see if I can get my white. Oops, that was a lot of white. Okie doke. Now, this is my acrylic white. Let's kind of get this out of the way. Gotta switch brushes, sorry. Okay, remember, if you have a brush and its little hairs go crazy and every time you use it, it sticks out there, do like me and just take the scissors, give it a haircut, because that's all it needs is just cut it off. So I have a little acrylic brush. Same thing that I've done on all the other ones. Okay. I thought it would be really cool if he looked like he was kind of blowing bubbles. So I'm just going to come in and do all sorts of different sized bubbles. And all it is a round, it's just a circle. I'm not filling it in, but I'm just doing random sizes. I'm also going to put some down here because I don't want the top of the paper to be jealous. Okay. But most of them are pure because I'm thinking he's blowing bubbles. That was my logic for making it long and narrow. Okay, then I'm going to put in some just dots. And I also like to use the back of my paintbrush to make dots. That way you can make them a little bigger. You can make really little ones, but it kind of makes them all small. I mean round, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to put just a couple down in here. Put one on him. Or her, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I don't know. Okay. You have to make sure you wipe your brush off on the bottom. And then I'll wash my... Here's the thing. Then, normally I would use my watercolor paintbrush, but it's kind of big, so I'm going to use my acrylic brush I just used. I'm going to use a little bit of the blue, and oops, see, there's a hair. Ha. I think I missed it. I don't have my glasses on, so it's hard for me to see. Okay, there we go. All right, so then, I have to make sure there's at least a drop of water in there. Okay, I don't want it super watery. I want lots of pigment. And then I'll come in here and I'm going to kind of do a little on the inside of my bubble, a little on the outside of my bubble. And we're just going to make our bubbles really pop out. Because bubbles are transparent. Okay. I'm not completely filling it in. I'm just kind of giving a little pop of color just so you can start to see them. Because though they're transparent, they're generally a little darker on the inside of your bubble. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Then we'll finish our painting. Let's get this out of the way. With our handy dandy Sharpie. And the ultra fine side. You have to be careful if you're not letting these dry like me, that your bubbles will tend to, you have to be careful because they'll mess up your Sharpie if you get paint on them. Okay, see how I'm not going, see I got paint on it. I'm not going all the way around. I'm just, in a way I'm kind of going where the blue is not. Okay. But it just makes your little bubbles pop out. Because even though they're transparent and they're light and all kinds of fun stuff, there are still shadows. That's how you make things look clear and transparent, is they have shadows. No matter how small that shadow might be. I keep getting paint on my Sharpie. Okay. So I know it's kind of scary. Just don't outline them so that it's complete. You're not trying to make it look like an exact coloring page. Okay. Then we can come in here and fix our outline for our seahorse itself. And then this is when you can put in extra little things, okay? Like I want to accent some of my dots. Because remember we put dots up in here, and when you put the black dots on top of it, it's like so cool. Then this was like a little fin, I guess. Oh, you know what we need? We need a little white dot in his eye. Okay, and then so all I'm really doing is going in, I add a little bit more details with my Sharpie, but not a whole lot, okay? So don't feel like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Okay? Kind of make these look a little more defined. You will get so much more courageous the more you do these. That's how you get more confidence is you continue to paint these. You continue just to keep trying. It's just like anything. I mean, when you learn to ride a bike, when you learn to drive, whatever, the more confidence you get comes with the more you practice. For those of us that have driven for quite a while, you know, we feel like we could drive in our sleep. Oh wait, sometimes we might drive in our sleep. Any cute? Okay, I'm gonna add in just a little bit of, I feel like that's too plain up there, sorry. Okay, see, I think he looks pretty cute. Then, let's see, the background needs just a little bit more. So I'm gonna use my medium-sized brush. I'm gonna make my blue a little darker, which I should do this before I put my bubbles in. I think I did this last week too. Okay, I'm gonna add a little more blue because I really want my seahorse to pop out. Actually, it's making my bubbles pop out too. Okay. See how that makes him pop out? And then because I have a harsh line here, I'll just touch my brush into the water. Kind of pull this back over here so it blends in. So we're not worried. See how it blends back together like it's fine. Okay. Then I'm going to put a little more blue on this side. And then I will put a little more blue here just because he's green. Okay. But here I do want that green to show, so I'm going to add more green. See how it really just makes things pop out when you are willing just to experiment. And with the watercolors, like I said, if you add a little more water, it helps it to blend together. I think he's coming together nicely. Ooh, yes, okay. Let's dry up my puddles. Perfect. I could play with this probably for a while, so I think I'm going to stop. Yeah, because otherwise I will sit here. I'm like everybody else. I'll just kind of be like, oh, and maybe if we do this, and oh, maybe we do that. Perfect. Okay. So our seahorse is complete. Dun, 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 dun. My shiny face. Anyway, so here is our little seahorse. Isn't he cute? Yes, he is. I think so. So anyway, he is complete. I am putting together the PDFs for your pattern because remember, you didn't have to freehand this at all. And look, I have paint on me and I didn't even do. That's crazy. It's like I walk into my art room and paint just like splatters me. There she is. Hey. But anyway, so thank you for painting with me on this magical Monday. I hope and pray that you go out and make this a great day for yourself and for others. Tomorrow we have Tranquil Tuesday. I believe we'll be doing the shark. Well, he's not very tranquil. A dolphin. How about tomorrow we do the dolphin? Dolphins are kind of calm and peaceful animals. At least I kind of think maybe they are. I don't know. So we will be on tomorrow at 8:05, and I am putting together the rest of the patterns. So like I said, if you want them, I'm going to have them, actually I'm going to do them as soon as we get off here, because me and the squirrels, if I don't do it right away, it doesn't get done right away either. So private message me your email if you'd like the PDF for the patterns, and I will see you all tomorrow at 8:05, and have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you. Oh, like my video and share it if you enjoyed it. So, all right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.